Good morning and welcome. You're watching Times Now. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. With the economic survey painting a grim scenario, Pranab Mukherjee's task has become all the more challenging. The slowdown facing the economy now needs the finance minister's urgent attention. So will Pranab Mukherjee's budget square up to the demands of growth? Times Now will keep you ahead on the big proposals in the budget today.
Pro-reform or populist? That's the question haunting Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee, who will be presenting the Union Budget 2012 in just a few hours. And as the world waits for Pranab's 7th budget speech, the UPA will have to remember that this is the government's last chance to push for a reforms agenda. The minister, who has largely followed the populist agenda and put government spending into social sector, has one final chance to push the big-ticket reform.
Going from the railway budget, I think the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister may have decided to bite the bullet that, there could be tough measures, what are called tough, but which is actually just plain good economics.
So what's on his plate then? First, the rollout of tax reforms like the GST and the DTC. Make a push for FDI in sectors like multi-brand retail, aviation and insurance. And finally, bite the bullet and free diesel prices from control.
My view is that if they went for rail fare increases, they went for it knowingly.
Yeah.
Nobody would have said, a ruckus would not happen. So the signal being given is the government is seriously worried about the fiscal situations and they think they ought to really now grasp again a little bit of reform to revive growth.
But given the Congress's relatively poor show this election and the current political environment, Pranab Mukherjee may choose to wear his politician hat over the economist one and go for the populist agenda. In that case, watch out for a raise in income tax exemption limit, further subsidies for fuel and cooking gas, implementation of NREGA across rural households, and the food security bill provisioning.
Regardless of the diminishing electoral returns from these schemes,
they'll still go
the
for it.
temptation is, this is almost a Pavlovian response of politicians, that whenever, what do you see the most thumping of desks during a budget? When they announce the outlay for NREGA has been increased from X to X plus 8, then you get the thumping. That's what
maybe
they
the
want.
Congress will be realistic.
Whatever the case, this will be a watershed budget for an embattled government. The Prime Minister, who himself led India out of the license Raj to the economic power it is today, is fighting to balance the compulsion of the coalition he leads. And in the end, politics could well score over economics this budget.